Welcome, everyone. This is Recovery Dharma. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators of this beautiful Buddhist-inspired practice. I'd like to set the intention for our practice today with a sentiment of loving kindness, metta. This one was drawn by Lo. And this one on the back reads, may you accept. May you accept. Beautiful. I love how open-ended that is. Alrighty, friends. So, for the month of January in the Spokane Sangha, we have been bringing forward mindfulness. And mindfulness, as many of you know, has its deep, very well-anchored roots in Buddhism. There is a particular Dharma teaching, a sutra, called the Satipatthana Sutra, which is the Buddha's ideas, his wisdom of mindfulness, how it arises in a human individual, how we can bring mindfulness into the world as part of our practice, as part of an instrument to awaken from the conditions of suffering. This particular sutra is incredibly detailed, and what he did was he identified 4 places that we can concentrate our efforts to understanding mindfulness. The body, the feeling, sensations, and emotions, the mind, and the stories that we tell, the mental formations, the perspectives. And they're all kind of connected. They're all fold into one another. And even on the Noble Eightfold Path, one of those aspects of practice is wise mindfulness, right mindfulness. So this is not a comprehensive study of this particular sutra. I'm just going to tap into it. And we have been, for the last several sessions, talking about the body. And what I love about this particular practice is that there are 6 ideas, 6 elements for a mindful body practice. And it begins, it's a little bit linear, if you will, because once you have some stability with one area of mindfulness in the body, you can advance to the next and advance to the next, and they build on one another. So to begin the mindfulness practice within the body, it begins at the breath. Just bringing your attention and your awareness to how you breathe is a wise, mindful practice. You don't have to do anything other than take notice of your organic breath. When we do that, friends, even if we only take one intentional breath, breathing in and breathing out, we will automatically increase the oxygen in our bodies, thus rendering the body better able to function. The second aspect to a mindful body practice is your posture. How are you standing? How are you sitting? How are you lying down? Take notice. Look at yourself throughout the day. If you're feeling a little low, bring your attention to your body. Are you curved and collapsed? Are you sitting upright and noble? Is your heart open? Are your shoulders back? No judgment here, just curiosity. The third element of a mindful body practice is something called clear comprehension. And this is looking at the breath, looking at the body, and really beginning to understand what are the conditions surrounding how you're breathing, how you're sitting, how you're standing, taking notice of certain parts of your body as places of informing your mood and your thoughts. So for example, if you're stressed, and you can take notice of, wow, when I'm stressed, I'm not breathing deeply. When I'm stressed, my body feels tight. With clear comprehension, we begin to understand how stress manifests in the body and how that manifestation can affect the mood, the mind, and our stories. The fourth place to bring our attention is to the body specifically. How is your body? How does your throat feel today? How does your liver feel today? Do you have a gallbladder? What does it do? When was the last time you smiled to your small intestine? When was the last time you noticed your heels and maybe the calluses on your big toe? How are your toes? This body, this vehicle that carries us around to and fro, we take so much of it for granted. So bringing our attention to parts of the body as a way of honoring the body. This is a beautiful thing, particularly for people in recovery, because for those of us in recovery, we've had a propensity and a habit energy of ignoring the needs of the body, pretending the body doesn't exist at all, numbing the body, having a really deep-seated aversion to the body. Paying attention to its parts is a way of bringing us back home to ourselves, bringing ourselves back home to the body. This beautiful thing that allows you to awaken to the conditions of your suffering, to illuminate and increase your understanding of your own habit energy, your own grasping, clinging, craving mind. The fifth aspect of a mindful body posture is looking a little bit more externally to the elements of life, the earth, the air, fire, water. You are all of these things. Buddhists and the Buddhist practice is a deeply elemental spiritual practice. Buddhists are highly reverent of the earth, knowing that we are the earth. In this particular sutra, the four elements are referred to the earth as solidity. In what ways are you solid? In what ways are you as stable as a mountain? In terms of air, the element of air, how are you mobile? How do you move? Are you stiff? Are you flighty? Are you whimsical? In terms of fire, what's your temperature today? And I don't mean that literally, 96.7, 98.2, whatever it is. What's your temperature in terms of your mood? What are the conditions that might stir in your consciousness, wow, I'm feeling cold today. I've had this interaction with somebody and the animation that I sensed with this individual was cool. Or maybe you've interacted with someone and the animation is on fire. What's that temperature all about? Can you get curious? Where does it live in your body? There's so much to learn there. There's so much to awaken to and be curious about. And then finally, the fourth element is water, fluidity. Taking this metaphorically, what is your capacity to go with the flow? What is your capacity to have a growth mindset? Or do you have a mind and body that's rather rigid and fixed in your thinking, fixed in your emotions, fixed in your routines, your patterns, your habits. And again, no judgment. We all have fixed components, thank goodness. We all do well with routines. However, when that routine, when that pattern is challenged for whatever reason, how do we react to that? How do we respond to that? Do we shut down? Do we pout? Do we act out? Or can we entertain a little bit of fluidity, a little go with the flow, right? The sixth body practice for the Western mind is quite unusual, and it's called cemetery contemplation. And this is all about paying attention to the impermanence of the body. We are all of the nature to grow old. We are all of the nature to grow sick. We are all of the nature to die. And so when we can contemplate the impermanence of the fact that we're not always going to look like we've been in our 20s and 30s, despite the beauty industry's best billion-dollar efforts, we're all going to age and get wrinkly and hunched and slumped and soft. And we're all going to die. So how can we be with that? How can we bring that into our contemplations? For the next few minutes, I'd like to pull this together for us, and we're just going to bring forward the first 4 body contemplations as a practice of mindfulness, sati. Close your eyes if it feels comfortable to you, or turn your gaze downward. Keep your eyes open a wee bit, but have your gaze, have an internal gaze, and make sure it's gentle and soft. There's no need to shine a floodlight on anything. Just imagine a nice candle lighting the corners of yourself. Nothing to be afraid of. And take some breaths. Take some intentional breaths. They can be deep. They can be shallow. Just notice. And as you're doing that, bring your body into a posture that feels noble. Even the word noble invites a shift, a tone that's like, ooh, noble. What does that mean? That puts a little smile on my face. That puts a wiggle in my tail. And maybe a noble posture is nothing more than sitting a little bit straighter, a little bit taller. Belly is nice and soft. Shoulders are rolled back so that the heart opens a little bit. And the reason why we're opening the heart with intentionality today is because most of us have a habit energy of curling those shoulders in. We're on the computer quite a bit, so we're curling those shoulders in. We're tucking that heart back, and unconsciously we're building a little layer of armor around it that can get pretty hard. When we open the shoulders and open the heart, there's a little bit of risk. An open heart is a slightly vulnerable heart. An open heart invites us to examine our capacity for the limitless qualities of Buddhism, loving kindness, compassion, joy, equanimity. Keep that heart open. Keep that body posture noble, tall. You can do this work. It's what you were created for. And maybe in the third aspect of this mindfulness practice, you can focus in, clear comprehension, focus in on an area of the body that might be resisting this practice. And rather than give too much credit to our propensities and our habit energy of what's wrong with me, why can't I do this? Let's invite our curiosity to have a voice. Ooh, look at this. Maybe we can practice this spiritual teaching that I call ugh to ooh. And it's like, ugh, why can't I do this? Why can't I be better at this? Ugh, what's the matter with me? That's habit energy, right? And then the minute we notice we're doing it, all we have to do is say, ooh, would you look at that? Look at the way I'm talking to myself. Would I ever talk to anyone else this way? Would I talk to my dog this way? Would I talk to my cat? My loved one? And if the answer is yes, that's curious. In what way is that of any benefit? And then the fourth thing we're just going to bring in here is if you're holding on to any resistance, tune in to the body. Where's the resistance manifesting? For me, I tend to resist in two places in my body. One is my neck and shoulders. The other is my gut. Today, I am holding it in my neck and shoulders. I have no idea why. That's my go-to. And I'm really not going to spend any time trying to understand it. I just know that that's my go-to to resistance. So what I'm going to do is bring my full attention to my neck and my shoulders. And with my breath, I'm going to breathe in my very elementary, I should say, understanding of my skeleton and the muscles and fascia in that area. I'm going to think about blood vessels and nerves, even though I don't know anything really about the anatomy there. I know that there's blood there. I know that there are nerves there. I know there's muscles there. And I'm going to breathe to all of it with the intention of accepting, ooh, I have some tension. Breathing in, acceptance. Breathing out, ease, relaxation. Breathing in, awareness of my body holding, resisting, stressing, feeling anxious, whatever it is. Breathing out, ease, release. Breathing in. This doesn't feel okay. It hurts. It's achy. Breathing out. I'm okay. And friends, at the end of the day, the beauty of all of this awareness, wow, the breath to a posture, to a specific area and awareness in the body, to a very specific body part, all of that in me as one individual. Now imagine if we can turn our gaze just slightly outward and external and remember there are millions and millions and millions of people in this moment right now who are feeling stress and tension in their shoulders and neck, just like me. What if I could engage this practice with such sincerity and breathe it in with such depth and textured understanding that on my exhalation I can bring myself and millions of other people just a degree of ease. What a beautiful way to enact and share your practice. Breathing in. May everyone who is experiencing tension and tightness in the body feel a moment of awareness. Breathing out. May they experience a degree of ease, just like me. This is a beautiful way of bringing the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism into a living, breathing practice, recognizing your own suffering and discomfort, recognizing its conditions, understanding how to bring its ease, and then bringing it out into the world for its benefit. This is a practice, friends. And you are extraordinary for it. Let's go ahead, friends, and end with a dedication of merit. Friends, so often we come to meetings, recovery meetings, because we need one. We need to connect. We need to experience belonging. We need to have a moment's break and rest from a racing mind, an anxious heart, a stressed body. And at the same time, sometimes we can forget or we overlook that the practice, the healing that we gain, even if we've only been able to attend for a moment or two, that healing is carried out into the world. It affects our family members. It affects the way we stand in line at a grocery store. It affects the way we sit with ease in traffic. It affects the way we make judgments of people that we notice on the street. When we are practiced, there's a degree of ease in all of it. There's a degree of peace in all of that. When we are unpracticed, well, you know what happens. A lot of judgment, a lot of aggression and aversion, a lot of things that bring discomfort and unpleasantness to our lives. So we dedicate this effort today. We dedicate it to ourselves. We dedicate it out. May the healing and this transformation that we've received today, that we've cultivated today individually and as a community, ripple out into the world. May it reach people who are in prisons. May it reach people who are lost. May it reach people in active addiction and those trying to support them. May it reach anyone who is lost and confused, bewildered and hurt. May it reach all sentient beings with a spirit of peace and joy, great love, and the warmth of limitless compassion. Thank you, friends, for your beautiful practice. We'll see you next time. Namaste.